Hey there, we know how you feel. You have good intentions, but you can't seem to get anyone to trust you. And worse, you have no idea why anyone would trust you. In fact, this has caused you to trust yourself even less. But did you know that all of that can change? Here's a comprehensive video on how you can gain the trust of the people you love and care for. Sounds good? Let us show you how. Welcome to Alux. Number 1. Stay true to your words. This goes without saying. People are more likely to trust you when they discover that you always stay true to your words. You promise to be there for them, and there you are, helping them through their most difficult period. Or you promise to stand by your principles, and not once did you break your own rules. Here's the thing about individuals who stay true to their words. We all understand that they would treat your trust the same way they treat their principles, with respect. If you consider yourself a disciplined and principled individual whose word is their bond, then you are more likely to get other people to trust you. Number 2, understand that trust is gradual. Hey, let's face it, nobody is going to trust you after knowing you for just 3 days. Come on, trust takes time. And it takes weeks, months, and sometimes years to gain the trust of someone you love. And this isn't about the person not wanting to trust you, but because trust is a virtue that takes a whole lot of time to build. Trust is giving somebody else your heart, your mind, your hands, and allowing them to do with it whatever they please, but with the conviction that they wouldn't do anything to hurt you. Now, let's be the judge of that. Wouldn't you be a little worried if someone trusted you with all these so fast? Of course you would. Number 3, consistency. Still in line with the previous point, trust requires a heavy dose of patience and consistency. If you are attempting to gain the trust of someone by always doing the right thing, then you must make that into a consistent habit. Nobody is going to trust you if they notice inconsistencies in your behavior. It's almost like you are willing to listen to them one day and then the next you don't want anything to do with them. Inconsistency will only build resentment, but relationships built on trust will improve your feelings, and it's more likely to stand the test of time. Number 4, clear communication. If this had appeared as the first point, it would be totally fine. This is because communication is perhaps the most important ingredient in getting someone to trust you. In relationships, communication offers people to explain how they feel, how situations affected them, and how things can get better. Be clear about what you want from your friends and partners, and make them understand your perspective. Also, here's a way to build effective communication. Do it face to face. When conversations are made personal, it helps to build a sort of bond between the parties involved, rather than emails or phone calls. Face-to-face communication can also help you notice nonverbal cues, which in turn could be helpful in getting someone to trust you. Number 5, honesty. Hey, how are you going to get your friend to trust you if you always lie in their face? It's practically impossible. Trust is built on openness and honesty, and lies will only create an illusion of this trust. It's vital that you don't also make the mistake of lying to protect someone you love. Sometimes we think it's okay to lie when it protects someone else from facing a harsh truth. Eventually, this person would find out that they were lied to, and that would instantly make you a person unworthy of trust. So why not just go ahead with the truth? It would definitely hurt, but you'd at least be there to help this person through it. Number 6, be vulnerable. Vulnerability shows your human side. It shows that you have emotions, fears, doubts, like everyone else. Be vulnerable. Show your feelings. Acknowledge them. Don't allow society's perception of what you should be stop you from being vulnerable. Vulnerability also makes other people see that you don't deny reality, and this factor is key to building trust. Interestingly, it also allows people to be more open and honest around you, which in turn can help strengthen a relationship. Number 7, admit your errors. It's perfectly fine to make mistakes. We aren't perfect beings. We make mistakes. We take the wrong steps. We act wrongly. And at the end of the day, it would feel impossible to gain the trust of someone you love. But here's what can make these situations worse: denying your mistakes. By denying your errors, you are being dishonest and untrustworthy, both of which are factors which primarily lead to distrust. However, when you admit your errors, you have not only taken responsibility for your actions, you have also been decent enough to come clean. This will show your remorse alongside a conviction that this error wouldn't repeat itself, and of course, a real reason to trust you. Number 8, make sacrifices. Sacrifices are difficult. We know that. We understand how difficult it is to put the needs of another person before yours. But if you are willing to gain the trust of someone you love, then you must also be willing to make sacrifices for them. You must be willing to help, even when it isn't particularly easy for you. Sacrifices show that you'd do anything to make another person happy. It reflects selflessness and compassion, and it's a great reason to trust someone. Number 9, learn to trust others. Hey, let's face it, how do you expect to gain the trust of people if you are notorious for not trusting anyone? This could mean that you don't even believe in the concept of trust. Then why would you want anyone to trust you? Trusting others is a sign that you believe in and respect the concept of trust. It's a sign that you understand how important it is in building relationships and maintaining friendships. And most importantly, it shows that you are a person worthy of trust. Remember, if you can't trust others, there's a fine chance other people think the same towards you. I just can't trust them, they'd say. Number 10, be positive. To understand the place of positivity in building trust, let's try this quick exercise. Imagine for a moment that you are stuck on a sinking ship in the middle of the ocean. To survive this accident, you have to join one of 2 lifeboats, both of which are led by one captain each. The first captain is a pessimist, and they remind you of how difficult it is to survive on a lifeboat in the midst of a violent storm. This captain then goes ahead to tell the stories of passengers who died in violent sea accidents. On the other hand is the second captain, an optimist who believes the night is just one of those difficult nights, and the sun will shine again in the morning. This captain acknowledges the wind and its violent qualities, but they believe in something stronger, their ability to survive this difficult storm. Now, who would you be willing to trust your life with? The second captain, of course. This is because trust naturally gravitates towards positivity. We want to feel assured. We want to be sure we are walking into a safe space. And hey, that's what trust is all about. Finding that safe space. Number 11, show people that you care. It becomes easy for people to trust you if they realize that you have an interest in them. It could be that you remember their birthday, the name of their kid, or even where you simply ask about their weekend. People who care are more easily trusted, and people who seem to only care about themselves are less likely to be trusted. Develop a genuine interest in people you love. Learn about the interesting and non-interesting bits of their lives. Learn about things that interest them so that you can have more things to talk about. Do any of these and they will develop a certain level of trust for you in no time. Number 12, no secrets. Do you want a long-lasting relationship that is built on trust? Then you must learn never to keep secrets. Would you trust your friend or partner when you discover that they are keeping some secrets from you? Definitely not. Secrets cause a certain distance between partners or friends, and it has the potential to end a relationship. However, when we choose openness, honesty, and transparency, our relationships are more likely to stand the difficult test of time. But here's the thing. The no secrets rule goes both ways. If you want someone to trust you, it is important that this person also makes a conscious effort not to keep secrets. Trust will only emerge when everybody involved chooses openness and transparency. Number 13, keep your promises. When we were little, we had several family friends and relatives promise us the most exciting things. A bicycle, a trip to a different country, a new game console, and toys were some of the things we were promised, only to have these promises dashed in our faces. Naturally, we felt cheated and angry, and most importantly, we lost trust in the individuals who promised and simply disappeared. When you constantly keep your promises, you build a foundation for respect and trust, and when this continues, it eventually develops into a strong faith in someone. Let's think about this for a second. Aren't you more likely to trust that friend who keeps their promises rather than the one who has an excuse every time they make a promise? It is also important to know that breaking promises disappoints the person we've promised. It breaks their heart. And if this habit becomes consistent, it could affect their faith and belief in humanity as a whole. Number 14, take responsibility for your actions. Here's a universal truth. You cannot build trust in a relationship if you are always running away from your behavior or action. In fact, you could be doing more harm to yourself by failing to acknowledge or accept your errors, inaction, or poor decisions. Rather than regulate your mistakes or actions to another person, why not take full responsibility for these actions so you can make a change? The moment you become mindful of what you did and you understand how it affects everyone around you, you can make a change. And in making a change, you are sending a message that portrays you as an honest and vulnerable individual, one who wouldn't hesitate to call themselves to order, which in turn makes you more likely to be trusted. Number 15, don't take others for granted. Have you ever felt like you were being taken for granted? How did it make you feel? We bet you felt terrible, and you probably vowed not to allow anyone to ever make you feel that way again. Sadly, that's exactly how others feel when we take their love, attention, or friendliness for granted. They see us as individuals unworthy of trust and probably someone they should stay very far away from. Always value people for what they do for you. Appreciate them. Remind them of how grateful you are that you have them. Avoid complacency. Choose honesty and openness. Avoid secrets. Be vulnerable. Communicate openly. And be patient. You'll get there. Remember that building a relationship on trust takes time, but when it finally happens, every minute spent will be worth it. And there we have it, 15 interesting ways to make people trust you. Just like Rome, trust isn't built in a day. But not only can these factors be implemented into your daily life, they are very likely to help you build a trust-centric relationship with your loved ones. Hey, did you watch this video up to this point? You know how we do it. It's the anticipated number 16. Listen effectively. Do you listen to people to reply or to understand a person's perspective? If all you do is listen to reply, we like to think you aren't listening effectively. If you, however, listen to understand a person's perspective, you are on the right path. When we listen effectively, we ask important questions, we clarify, we pay attention, and we also empathize if needed. Effective listening creates a unique connection between the speaker and the listener, and this genuine interest from the listener is bound to develop into trust in the long run. Do you have some useful tips you'd like to share with us? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for spending some time with us today. We are so glad you did. If you found value in today's video, please give us a like. Hit that bell icon to never miss an upload, and don't forget to subscribe.